Most people think God chooses the obvious, the strong, the experienced, the one everyone else would pick. But that is not how God chose David. In 1 Samuel chapter 16, the prophet Samuel is sent to the house of Jesse with a mission that would change history: anoint the next king. Jesse brings forward his sons, one by one. The first is Eliab, impressive, strong, exactly what you would expect a king to look like. And Samuel thinks, surely this is the one. But God interrupts him. Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. That word, heart, in Hebrew it is lavav. It does not simply mean emotion. It means the center of will, the center of intention, the center of devotion, the control room of a person's life. God is not choosing based on image. He is choosing based on direction. 7 sons pass by, 7 no's from God. Then Samuel asks a question that almost feels like an afterthought. Are these all the sons you have? There is one more, the youngest, out in the field, watching sheep. David is not even invited to the lineup. In that culture, the youngest son was often the least significant. A shepherd was not a future king. A shepherd was overlooked. And yet, this is exactly where God was looking. When David is brought in, God says something remarkable. Rise and anoint him. This is the one. Not, he will become the one. Not, he has potential. This is the one. Before the throne, before the victories, before anyone else could see it, God had already chosen him. And when Samuel anoints David, Scripture says, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day forward. The Hebrew carries the sense of rushing, overtaking, empowering. David goes right back to the sheep. No crown, no palace, no recognition, but everything has already changed. Then something even more unexpected happens. The Spirit of the Lord departs from Saul. The current king is still sitting on the throne, but the presence of God has moved on. So David is brought into Saul's court, not as a king, as a musician. The future king playing the harp for the present king. This is how God often begins his work, not with promotion, with preparation. And David rises. He defeats Goliath. He leads armies. He wins battles. Scripture says, David had success in everything he did, for the Lord was with him. That is the pattern. Not perfection, presence. But David's story does not stay clean. The man after God's own heart sees Bathsheba and takes what is not his. He commits adultery. He arranges the death of her husband, Uriah. The same David who trusted God in a field now abuses power from a rooftop. And for a moment, it looks like everything has unraveled. But here is where David's story becomes different. When the prophet Nathan confronts him, David does not defend himself. He does not shift blame. He does not make excuses. He simply says, I have sinned against the Lord. That is it. No justification, no spin, no escape, just truth. And from that moment comes one of the most powerful prayers in all of Scripture. Create in me a clean heart, O God. Again, The word is lavav, heart. David understands something most people never do. God is not after image management. He is after inner transformation. That is why the book of Acts later describes David as a man after God's own heart. Not because he was flawless, but because when he failed, he returned. David's life is a paradox. Chosen but overlooked, anointed but hidden, victorious but deeply flawed. Yet through it all, one thread never breaks. He keeps turning back to God, again and again and again. And that may be the most important part of David's story. God did not choose David because he would never fall. God chose him because even when he fell, he would not run away. He would come back. And that changes everything. Because David is not just a king from ancient Israel. He is proof. Proof that God sees what others overlook. Proof that calling can exist long before recognition. Proof that failure is not the end of the story. And proof that what God is ultimately looking for has never been perfection. It has always been the heart.